Welcome to another episode of Trendy with Kim Allison, and I am Kim Allison. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and that notification bell, and leave a 5-star review on audio if you're listening. Thank you. I wanted to take this episode to introduce myself to people who may be new, because the podcast is the little engine that could, and we are still growing. I'm so happy with the progress that we've made, but I do this little thing with these folders, right? I have 5 of them. One, the orange is pop culture. The green, of course, is money. The blue is life lessons. The yellow is salon stories. And the red is beauty culture. Because we're going to talk about this little viral gadget called the CreaClip. And the CreaClip hit my feed because she was on Shark Tank. So I'm sure all of you have seen it. You know, she blew up, which is amazing. This is not, again, a podcast where you come to hate on people necessarily, despite what some may believe based on my most recent post of Anaya's weave on Love Island, but that's another story, you guys. I was talking about the quality of hair, and it may have come across as a pile-on, but honest to God, it really wasn't. On this show, I do 3 episodes a week of my solo takes. It's called Kim's Chair, where I talk about things that are personal to me, things I'm interested in, things that I've seen, all related to hair. I have 2 guest episodes, at least 2 per month, and I love those because we share their funny stories and their salon intakes, or their salon takes, industry takes, their personal journey in this crazy hairdressing world that we're in. And those are a lot of fun. But again, the show, we play games, all the things. The show is meant to be a soft place to land, a safe place to land, light and airy, if you will, even though sometimes we have to talk about hard things. So I come in peace. I come from a good place, I promise. Again, today being the red folder, beauty culture, we're going to talk about this CreaClip.
That clip into place. See that? And I'm just going to make sure the level is in the middle. Slide it down. Keep sliding it down. And I'm going to cut. Okay? In an angle like this again, because that's how I want the hair to be textured. Okay? It looks like I'm cutting a lot off, doesn't it? And see that? That's going to create the layers. Yeah.
For those who are listening, and I'm going to describe to you what we all just watched. But before I say that, you guys, this is a hair shape, not a hair cut. And there is a difference. And again, I come as someone with 30 years experience as a hair cutting specialist. So I am all up in my niche, and I live for this. I love educating people and just giving my perspective. I want to describe the video first. What she's doing is she has hair down to her waist. She flipped all the way over. The clip itself is just an arch, like an arc shaped gadget. Maybe what is that? Like an inch long, maybe an inch and a half, maybe, I'm not sure, but it goes wide enough that it could capture, if you flipped over, clipped it to your hair, all of your hair in that clip. Then she takes scissors and she just chops into it, which we would call in the industry deep point cutting, or just point cutting. Can't really go too deep because she's butting against the clip, but she's chop, 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 chop. You can hear her chopping into the hair, chop, 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 making little notches into the hair, which I'm sure she probably saw a hairdresser do that, right? At some point, somewhere, but that is a skill set. The sharpening of the blade matters, and the fact that you could literally hear her crunching through her hair would concern me for the health and condition of the hair, right? It's not just about the shape you're creating. There's a whole process of love and care that you give to the hair while you're cutting. And one thing you should not hear is the actual blades cutting the hair. That's kind of crazy. Or at least not cutting, but crunching through the hair, I should say. So she goes all the way across. She even missed a section, went back, pop, 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 pop. Sometimes when you chop back over what you just chopped, that's also another concern. But again, I know her customer base isn't professional hairdressers, or at least it shouldn't be. Good God, I hope there's not a professional out there using this. Just saying. I know that's not her base. She is talking to the home user who just wants to save money, maybe, or for whatever reason. But I do agree, if you want to do dusting, light dusting, if you have super long hair like she had, and all you're doing is like just a little baby trim of some sort, if you're cutting your kids' hair or something, I get it. But I want to give her flowers because this is an amazing tool. Let me just say that. But I also want to say, you guys, I think what I'm trying to say, and I am a rambling, I ramble, I need guardrails. I'm telling you, I cannot, my head, especially when I get excited about something, my mind goes all over the place. But the point I'm trying to make is this little tool is not going to replace your hairdressers. It's just not going to do that. You guys are asking a whole lot from a little piece of plastic. All right. Mei Lu, the woman who created this, she understood something that a lot of hairdressers like myself forget. People are terrified of cutting their own hair. So instead of just guessing where to cut, this clip, it gives people a visual guide. And that's actually pretty clever, right? But here's my take. Contrary to what a lot of people out there believe, hair cutting, it's so much more than making the hair shorter, you guys. So much more than that. Let me remind you, she flipped her head over without considering elevation. Will every client flip their hair over exactly the same way? Every customer? Because that elevation, it matters. It's a huge part of how the hair is going to fall. And you can't guarantee that with all these different people using it. When I cut somebody's hair, I'm looking at their head shape. I'm looking at their density. I'm looking at where their hair naturally falls. I'm paying attention to cowlicks, growth patterns, weight distribution, how thick it is, how fine it is. Does one side have more hair than the other? And I'm going to challenge you guys. I'm going to give you a little homework. When you're in your mirror tonight, looking at your hair, look at both sides. You're going to see that one side has more density than the other side. You can notice it. Just look at a stranger and you'll see nobody's hair has equal density. And all of that matters. This tool is taking off length all at once. As a professional hairdresser, I'm making decisions while I'm cutting. I'm thinking of things like, should I leave more weight here? Should I remove weight there? Should I over direct this section? Elevate this section? How's this going to move and flow tomorrow when my client leaves the chair? Can they duplicate this when they wash their hair and start all over? Is this going to fall the same way? We call that personalizing. A clip can't answer any of those questions. So hairdressers, don't panic. I am here to save our jobs. I got you. But that's the difference between a tool and a human hand. You know what I'm saying? Because we have years of training and experience. Now, does that mean the CreaClip is a bad product? No, not at all. I think it's a tool. And like every tool, it has a lane. It needs to stay in its lane, though, is what I'm trying to get across to you guys. I wouldn't recommend using it if you're trying to create layers, though. Like she said, please don't do that. That's nuance. There's so many layers to that. Definitely would not use it for a bob, precision bob at all. Curly hair, probably not. Trying to completely change your haircut, absolutely not. But maintaining a long haircut, I can see where it has value, for sure. I could see that. You know what? I'm going to say this. That's the problem I have with the internet. Everything has to be either the greatest invention ever or complete garbage. And I hate that for us because sometimes something can just be pretty good, right? For the right person. And I think people that do their hair at home, this is perfect. And for our industry, I would say I don't think people are necessarily buying a haircut tool. I think they're buying convenience. I think they're buying a little insurance, if you will. They're buying, the feeling that maybe they can save a little money, which they love to do that, you guys. They love to think they have the power because they went to Sally's and Sally sold them developer and hair color. So that means professional to them. But whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not offended by it at all. I'd even go as far as to say I'd rather somebody safely maintain their haircut with a tool like this than completely mess it up and come in and like, Kim, fix it. I need you to fix it. But I had a dinner. I had all these things. So I would actually prefer that, if I'm being quite honest, without giving you permission to go ham and replace your hairdresser, that is. But where the rubber meets the road for me is when people actually believe that this gadget can replace education experience and years of developing an eye. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes a while to develop that eye. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that. So I don't think it's a scam, but I don't think it's magic either. I think it's a clever little tool that works really well within a very specific set of circumstances. And again, I have mad respect for Mei Lu, who created it, because she solved a problem that people actually have. That's how millionaires are made. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Have you ever used a CreaClip? And how did you do with that CreaClip? I really want to know. Don't be embarrassed. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Would you buy one? Have you bought one for somebody else? Let me know in the comments, you guys. And if there are any other viral beauty tools you've been seeing all over your feed that you like for me to weigh in on and give you my professional take, leave that in the comments and we will go over and dissect that too. Alrighty. So thank you for hanging out with me today, you guys. Thank you for watching and listening. Go to kimallison.net for all things trendy with Kim Allison. Thank you for listening to another Kim's Chair solo rant, and I will see you next time. Bye.